podcast. This is episode number 2, hosted by Keishia Deverney. Today's topic is going to be the sky is the limit for new and emerging businesses in 2022. I thought this was a very good topic to present to you. I became was a lot of information that I didn't know, and there's a lot of information that I'm still learning. And we're talking with new business owners, information that is needed to grow and be sustainable uh, in 2022. It's a lot of resources and information that's out in the community, and I'm finding that there's just a lot of disparity because of lack of knowledge and lack of awareness. Our guest speaker today is Laurie Jackson. Laurie is a native of New Orleans, born and raised. She's a graduate from the University of New Orleans with a bachelor's in business management and a master's in business administration. Laurie is currently the director of the Women's Resource Center of the Urban League of Louisiana, and she's also the founder of MSC Financial Management. Welcome, Laurie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Laurie, can you give us some information about the Urban League and how the Urban League can actually help small businesses get the information and the resources that they need to grow their business and to sustain in this new economy that we're having?
Yes. So, one of the perks of being the director of the Women's Business Resource Center at Urban League is being able to help entrepreneurs, whether they are starting a business or they are growing a business. And one of the biggest resources that we have is our business advisors. And so these are people that, in a similar sentence, we are coaches, right? So if you're familiar with a coach, right, a coach might make you do some things you don't like, but a coach is going to help you and grow you and push you to whatever goals it is that you have to help you achieve that. So at the Women's Business Resource Center, you have the option of being able to work with a business advisor one-on-one to reach your personal goals. In addition to that, we have other programs like our Startup Louisiana program and our Scale Up Louisiana program, which will be rolling out in a couple of months. So if you're interested, you can sign up for our newsletters on our website. But we have these programs coming up where you can meet with professionals across the industries to help you with more specific things like marketing, human resources, your finances, which is always a big issue for most people, right?
Right.
And then in addition to that, we can use our name and our connection to be able to help you grow your business to the next level.
Good, great. You hear that, people? So contact the Urban League of Louisiana. Laurie Jackson is the director, and she's out there. Her and her team is out there willing to help. Laurie, the country right now is experiencing what is being called the Great Resignations. Millions of people are leaving their jobs to do other things like be at home with their families or starting a business. With the new influx of new business owners, what advice would you give them on how to prepare their finances for starting a business?
So you have two types of people that start businesses, right? You have people that just get tired of the workforce, which like a lot of people just did, and like I'm just jumping in head first. The problem with that method is the fact that they're not financially prepared, right? Then you have a second type of people that sit and they wait and they actually plan it out. Now, I was a head first person, so I can't talk about nobody that's head first because that was definitely me. But I'm a fighter as well, so that was why. But for those people who want to be in the middle, the biggest thing that you have to understand is what does it take to start your business and what does it take to sustain your business, right? And so you don't get into business just to go work for Uber and Lyft and drive and do all of these extra side jobs. You're getting into business because you want your business to support you. So I typically tell people to look at three different areas of their finances first to be able to say, this is what I need to do to move forward. Number one, your business should be able to support you as an entrepreneur. When I say support you, that supports your bills, support your livelihood, your life, your household, how you present yourself whatever your lifestyle is. Have it to be able to support your self-care as well. Something a lot of people forget. You have to take care of yourself, right? So the first part is personal. The second part is understanding what type of expenses your business is going to have. So if your business never makes a sale, never has a client, what expenses would you still need to take care of? Once you know those two things, then you can say, okay, I'm ready to move forward. So it's actually easier for people who are in the service-based industry where I'm talking to you to jump into a business head first because there's not a lot of overhead versus the process for someone who is a product based. So now you have to think about inventory. You have to think about, am I going to do pre-sales and collect money up front and be able to use that to front and to grow the business, right? Versus purchasing thousands of dollars versus of inventory and then not actually combing through your model and actually being able to get rid of that inventory, right? So you have to think about your approaches as you are saying, this is what I want to do to make sure you can actually sustain it for at least 6 months. If you can support it for 6 months, then that's your kick it off the ground time. I'm not saying that's success time. That's two different things. That is kicking it off the ground time.
It's a good point that you made because because I'm in a product business where I have to worry about inventory.
Exactly.
I have to worry about distribution.
Exactly.
So it's been difficult. I mean, when I got into this business, I already had a career, so it really wasn't that difficult because I don't depend upon the business right now to sustain my lifestyle and my income. But for someone else who's actually just starting and that's all they have, it can be difficult.
Exactly.
And I want to interject also about with a business, you have to be consistent.
Yes.
You have to be consistent with what you're doing. You can't just put it down today, pick it up tomorrow. Put it down today, pick it up tomorrow.
Yes, because your reputation is everything. Your name is everything. And if you are doing something or you're selling something, the whole point of it is to stand out from everybody else. So one of the hardest things that occurred for a lot of entrepreneurs when the pandemic happened was everybody had to flood the internet. So where you might have had a storefront that made you stand out, now you're fighting thousands of people online where I can go and find somebody in Ohio or Michigan or somewhere like that that's selling the same thing that you were selling to me locally, but now I just found it cheaper, right? So your brand is everything because even if I have to pay more, I'm still going to come to you because of your brand, because of how you've positioned yourself. But if you're going to pop back in and out of my life every couple of months, then I'm gonna go to the person. I'm at that point, it becomes a price issue for me now rather than a loyalty issue. So that's the reason why you want to stay consistent because you will get that loyal following.
Exactly. Consistency, people. Consistency.
Yes.
And you kind of covered this next question, like what are the biggest mistakes new business owners make when starting a business? So you kind of covered that a little bit. You want to add something
Yes.
else to it?
Number one is I would say one of the biggest mistakes is not actually collecting money correctly. And so being, especially if you are doing products, right? So when you register your business with the Secretary of State and you do all of these filings, then there's something called sales tax that you have to pay. Some people don't pay attention to that little love letter that comes in the mail saying you didn't file your sales tax. Now you owe us money plus penalties, right? So being able to track the money that you have coming into the business, finances become the biggest mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make because you mix and mingle. You think your business is you and you're not the same, right? Your business might be making money, but you're not making money yet. That's two different things, right? Because you're growing it. So mixing finances, not paying the appropriate people, and there are bills that are backing up behind your head that you don't know of. So when you go after different certifications that require proof that you've been taking care of all of these things, then you're going to get smacked in the face with surprises all of the time, right? And then that just feeds into the fact that business owners who, in a sense, don't seem like you take it seriously when you don't register your business, right? There's a difference between a hobby and a business. So a hobby is like one of my hobbies. I sell pralines and pies. That's a hobby because it will not be a business at all. But my real business is registered, is traceable, is trackable. Because if I want to grow this and I want to expand it, everybody's going to look for a track record. And if your track record is cash, you can't trace cash no matter how hard you try.
Stop cash apping people.
Cash out, oh my gosh. Venmo, no.
Stop cash apping.
Zelle, maybe. I see how I feel about that one.
So I getting into business, I picked out 10 legitimate steps that all businesses need to be legal and legitimate. I mean, I know people that are selling things and they're doing a really great job selling this stuff, but they're not legal. They don't have it set up as a business. They have it set up as a hustle, like you said, as a hobby. So, and that's the reason why resources are not available to you. That's why you can't go in and get a business loan. So the first thing you need to do to become a real business owner, a true entrepreneur in this day and age, you must do the right things. Okay. The first thing you need to do is to let your state know that you are a business. You need to register your business with the Secretary of State. You may want to be an LLC. You may want to be a sole proprietor, or you may have a partnership. So you can get with a tax person or a financial advisor, or even some individuals at the Urban League to determine what your status could be. But you need to register with the state. Also, you need to apply for a tax ID number.
Yes.
You have to file taxes. You want to expand on that, Laurie?
Yes. So the two steps that she just named can cost you $105 or $110 at the max. The difference between that $5 is whether or not you pay with a debit card, okay? So the file with Secretary of State is $105 to make your business legit, okay? Outside of that, an EIN is free, okay? Don't let anybody con you into paying for these things. And the reason that you want to do this is because you are separating yourself from your business, okay? So if you file taxes, you have to supply your social security number. So your EIN is your business social. Allow your business to separate from your social just in case anything happens. If somebody comes after you, if they come after your business and you don't have an EIN, everything falls to your social, which means they can come against your house, your everything that you own pretty much. But if you can separate those two and give it its own entity, its own identity, then that's what you want to make sure that you do. And like I said, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to be able to do that.
Okay. Number 3, if you have multiple owners, some businesses, they have partners, they have multiple owners, you should have a legal agreement or a legal contract stating what are the roles of all parties, how money is going to be distributed, what contributions that each partner is going to make. So all the verbal agreements, I don't care if it's your family, your cousins, your mom, your dad, friends, get everything in writing.
And the biggest thing about that is you want to make sure the percentages are clearly outlined, meaning how much of the business does each person own, whether it is for profit, whether it is for capital. So there's actually, when it comes down to partnerships, you can have two different types of ownership levels. You can have the type of ownership or the partnership where they are a partner when it comes down to your profit and loss. Then you can have the type of partnership where they are a partner just for the capital. So whatever the building, the assets are. So making sure that you have those percentages written down, because that's the percentages that will go on the partnership tax return, which is due by March 15th of every year. It has a deadline. And if you don't make that deadline, it is $200 per person per month for every month that it is late. So you want to make sure that when you are moving into that area, you are really serious about doing this, because that can cause dramatic issues in the future.
Exactly. Mad they come. When mad they come, it's ugly. Okay, so make sure you have everything legally written down. So now that you're registered with the state, you have your tax ID number, you have your contracts in place, you need to go to the bank and open up a business account in your business name. So before you can do that, you must have these things in place. Your registration with the state and your tax ID number. So you don't want to mix your business with your personal. You don't want to have a list of your shopping online and your McDonald's and your restaurant bills mixed up with your business bills. You want to expand on that some more, Lori?
So biggest thing is whichever type of bank you choose, you want to make sure you're being smart about it. I always tell people to focus on mid-level banks. And when I say mid-level, I'm thinking Regions, Hancock Whitney, Fidelity, those are mid-level banks because they're not too small to where they can't support your needs, but they're not too big to where they only look at you as a dollar. So, but when you go to these entities, you have to bring your EIN paperwork and your articles of organization. Outside of that, yes, like she said, don't commingle. You and your business are not friends like that, okay? You don't want to sit here and have your personal expenses in your business account. If you don't have the money, then you don't have the money. Okay, your business cannot support you in that way. I have so many people who will tell me, "Well, I made a mistake and grabbed that card." No, you didn't. You didn't make a mistake and do that. You knew exactly what card you were grabbing. So you want to make sure, and the reason for that is if you ever plan on becoming bankable, then all you're doing is basically robbing your bank account, your business, because you're saying, I'm spending this money, I'm spending this money, I'm spending this money. All the bank is concerned with is how much money you made. At the bottom line, how much money did you keep in your business? So you want to make sure that you are aware of those type of things.
Correct, correct. So, so now that you've figured out the registration, you're gonna go over it again. Your registration, your tax ID. You're gonna register at a bank in your business name. So the next thing you need to research and figure out is whatever type of business you have, do you need a business license for that? If you're doing hair, you need a business license for that. If you're cooking food, you need a license. You need to get licensed and okayed by the Department of Health. So whatever type of business that you have, you need, well, that should be first, really, before you start your business. You need to make sure that you have a license, that you are licensed to actually do whatever it is that you're trying to sell, and whether it's food, whether it's a service, make sure you have your licenses in place. All right. You don't want to just spend money and get all this stuff done, and then you don't have a license to actually do this.
Yes.
We're trying to grow our business, people, this year. We're trying to be sustainable. We're trying to be able to get the piece of the pie that's out there, but you have to be legitimate in order to do this. And these are very simple steps. Also, other business suggestions that I found that if you need to get liability insurance. Okay, if you're selling food or you're selling products out there, you need to have liability insurance. It's a very, very minimal to actually protect yourself because people can sue you for selling something that may make them sick or just anything. You just need to have insurance to cover your company.
Yes. No, I agree wholeheartedly because the reality of it is we are in a trigger happy, camera happy, cell phone happy, sue happy environment now. So people will try to go after you for anything and everything because the thought process is, hey, I can make a quick dollar real fast by suing you. So general liability just will cover you so that way again it's not coming out of your pocket. This is why you have insurance in place. It's just like car insurance. We suck it up and we pay that. So you can suck it up and pay this if you want to be a good business owner.
Exactly. Also, if you are in the tech business or if you're an artist, whether it's painting, whether it's music, you might want to get intellectual property rights, a plan to protect your rights with your with your business as far as your music, as far as your photos, paintings, or whatever it is. You need to get that. Also, a big thing is you need to get your company name trademarked.
Yes. And so if you need any of these services covering trademarks or intellectual property, make sure you get with a lawyer who specializes in this, okay? Because you trying to do this yourself will not work. I can promise you, because you have to do research to make sure that any application that you are putting in has not already put in, and that's their job. That's what they specialize in, being able to make sure that nothing infringes, because people will sue you. We see enough infringement situations that happen in the news all the time. One of the biggest two names I love to reference when I'm talking about this is Samsung and Apple. They are in court almost every other month suing each other over, oh, they infringed on this layout that I had on my phone platform, or they offer this service that my patent covers. So you want to make sure that you are getting with a lawyer who specializes, just not any lawyer, okay, person who specializes in
Specializes.
this, because they know how to research and find and make sure that everything is covered. And it's not cheap. I won't lie and say, oh, it's going to cost you a couple hundred. It might cost you a couple thousand, but if you believe in what you're doing, then you'll invest in that. Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to market your company, get logos, do all this stuff, spend all this money with your company, and then somebody can come up and take your name.
Exactly.
If you don't, I mean, and it happens. I've heard horror stories about that. So it does happen. Okay, Lori, can you, for new business owners, what path would you suggest they take to build a successful company right here in the city of New Orleans? Because New Orleans has so many opportunities for new businesses now. So, what are some suggestions? Um,
So the biggest thing that I would say is looking in, making sure that you identify the industry. Okay, don't go. I know a lot of people flock, and they flock into industries where they cannot stand out, or they offer services or products that everybody is offering. Right? New Orleans is a place of opportunity, mainly because of the crowds we attract. So being able to actually not look at New Orleans, because if you looked at New Orleans and said, how can I thrive in New Orleans? Well, what are people going to say? Hospitality, food, right? There are over 4,000 restaurants in New Orleans. And I'm not talking Metairie, I'm not talking the West Bank. I am talking New Orleans alone. So you don't want to get into an area where there is such heavy competition. But what you can do is focus on the people that are coming in. So you have entities that actually track all of our tourists that's coming in. What are they flocking to? What are they looking for? And then being able to say, okay, let me build my brand around that. Let me make sure I craft something that I can take advantage of some of these tourist dollars that's coming in as well, because I can offer something that they all are looking for. So just I encourage everybody to do something that makes you stand out, because you have to be able to be different from the other people, right? So you want to make sure that you're standing out. Another way that you can stand out, don't have a business that's only on Instagram and a business that's only on social media. Because if you can't find the person's website, I don't think you legit no more. I'm a little scared about what's going on. So if you really believe in your business, that's one of the things I tell people again. Invest in your domain, because you need to go find it. You need to have it. You need to establish it. Your social media needs to tie people back to your identity. Have a way for people to be able to come to your website. That way you can actually do real tracking, real tracing, to be able to see, okay, what are people, if you offer products, what are people clicking on? Let me figure out, well, wait, why is it not moving to a buying phase? Like, so it gives you a lot more freedom to determine how your business should be moving and shifting.
yes, that's very important to actually have a website. I mean, because one of the first things when you're telling someone about your business, oh, do you have a website? You have a
Exactly.
website I can go on. So, investing in a website is very important. And I was just so amazed and so excited when I started selling drinks on the website. I mean, people from California, Indianapolis, all over, was buying the drinks. So people do check your website out.
Exactly.
They do.
And you never know who's going to find you either. Because opening your mind, New Orleans might be a starting spot for you, but you are open to the world. So when you have a website and when you are advertising, when you are putting yourself out there on social media, you have no clue where all of these people are from, but they're looking for you and they're coming to you. I have clients in New York, in California, like all across in different states around the United States. And it's not because I go to those places, okay? It's because people find you and word gets out, and that's the brand you want to build.
Exactly. And I'm a living proof, because I was like, wow, how did they find out about Element, way in Florida? How did they find out about Element, like you say, in New York? So yes, I do get a lot of customers from all over the United States buying Element. So get that website, y'all. And to wrap this up, Laura, you work with women business owners. What characteristics do you find that most successful business women have?
Most successful women business owners are resilient. They are going to keep fighting. The reality of it is, as women, and I'm not saying men don't have this trait, I'm not going there, but women go through a lot. And except the biggest thing is we keep pushing forward because we're not thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about our families. We're thinking about our friends. We're thinking about the other person, the person on the other side. And so for women entrepreneurs, one of the biggest things that we have going for us is our spirit to keep pushing. One of the biggest things we can make for ourselves is to do it together, because we have a habit of looking at each other as competition, and we are not in competition. Trust me, there is enough pie for everybody, believe you me. But when we don't come together as a community and strengthen each other and push each other forward and encourage each other, that's how we start tearing each other down.
Exactly.
And we're not supporting each other. We're not growing each other. We're not telling each other things in sisterly love. So we have to learn that our biggest trait of resiliency is also based in community. And that's how we'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, so we need to support each other. Go out there and support your sister, support your brother, support the small business. And when you said that women are very resilient, I had no idea that I would be running a business. It wasn't in my plan. It wasn't a desire that I even had. I didn't even know how I was going to actually do this. But to keep my son's spirit alive here, I just jumped in and I did what I had to do. So it's learnable. You can do this. If I can do it, losing a son, you can actually do this. And then look, I started another venture, podcast, because I'm finding I like to talk. I like to talk in front of the cameras, but I like to talk, but I want to be informative. So anything that I learned that I can share with the community, that's what I want to actually do. So Laurie and I, we've talked a lot. So it's time to try some Element, Laurie. Are you familiar with the Element products?
I am somewhat familiar.
Well, Element, Devin started this business in 2016, and David and I are carrying it on in his absence.
Okay.
The lemonade was started right here in my kitchen.
Okay.
3 flavors: the pineapple, the strawberry, and a tropical fruit. The pineapple was the original flavor, and he added 2 additional flavors on. So currently, right now, Element is in all the Rouses, the Conseco's, the Bromarts, Lil Dizzy's restaurant, Morrow's restaurant, the convenience stores. So we're saturating New Orleans, y'all, and I want to thank everybody for their support. So Laurie, let's drink up. Let's have a drink of Element.
Alrighty, I'm gonna try the original.
So she's gonna try the original, and I'm gonna do the tropical. I hope this information was very informative to everyone. And like I said, you can call the Urban League to get signed up for a counselor. Don't say if you need the information. We need the information.
Yes.
There's always something that you don't know. We don't know everything.
So if you are interested in joining Urban League and being able to get with the business advisor, you can actually email us at wbrc@urbanleaguela.org.
Okay, so get out there, get that business legitimate so you can get the funding and the resources and the information that you need, and your business can actually grow.
Okay. Like that, y'all.
Okay.
Great.
Real good.
Yes, ma'am.
Really, really good. Okay, this is going to wrap up our show. I want to thank Laurie for coming in.
Thank you.
And giving us information. She's available, people. Urban League is waiting for your calls right now so that they can give you the information that you need to grow your business.
Yes.
And thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.